Hey everybody, this is Brothers Forge Gaming. I'm EZ, and for the first time in a long time, I'd like to welcome you inside of Easy's room. So come on in. Alright, guys, the time has come. I almost can't believe it. I did a room tour, and here we are. It's so exciting. I wasn't gonna do one. I started Easy's room this year. I was doing, piece by piece room, getting really, detailed and showing, each collection. But a couple people kept asking when or if I was gonna do a room tour, and I finally I went back and I saw that I hadn't done one in a few years. It's been a while since I had done a room tour, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna bring the people what they want. No, but yeah, I got pretty excited. I was like, I got everything all cleaned, how it should be, and actually put together a pretty fun project that I think you guys will enjoy. If you saw the last time I did one of these, I think I just kind of walked through and talked over a camera, and it was fun and short. Probably easy to watch, to the point. This one is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to go section by section, talk a little bit about the different stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff to go over. I didn't realize it until I started making this video, how difficult that it is to go over and talk about that much stuff and keep it, interesting. But that's what we are going to do today, guys. So yeah, we're going to go around and check everything I have, a little bit of piece by piece, and you'll get to see kind of the what's in the mind of Easy, I guess, or at least what's in his room. So let's get started and jump on to our first set. All right, everybody, as we're getting started, the first stop on this gravy train is the Sega section. That's right, that means all things Sega. Pretty much all the systems all piled into this creative little area that I had to build myself. Pretty much all the shelving and everything in here is stuff I put together on my own, so it fit the games a little bit better. But as you can see here, first stack, we've got all the in-box Genesis, some really, really cool stuff in there. I was a big Sega kid. I grew up more with the Genesis than like the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. So, I played a lot of the Sega CD. That's always been one of my favorites. So, it holds a special spot in my heart. So you can kind of, see I've really dolled this section up. But yeah, a great selection of Inbox Genesis. We've got some Inbox Masters games down there. Hopefully you can see those. And that's a system too. I didn't really get to play as much as a kid, but I've played a ton as an adult. It's an awesome system. Some really, really great games. I have a couple notable ones. Golden Axe Warrior is definitely the big title I have there for the Sega Masters. That one's really cool. So look forward when I do an Easy's Room separate piece on that. That's coming soon. But like I said, yeah, a couple of other loose 32X and stuff, but basically this is to hold all this bulk bulk box games. Got a couple notable games for the Genesis as well. Gunstar Heroes, Castlevania, Lightning Force. There's some good stuff. Hyperstone Heist. Definitely, just a good mix of games there on the Genesis. Definitely love that. Hopefully it's in the shot. Up here, we'll get some close-ups and stuff, but we have the Sega Dreamcast section with a couple of cool games. Just some replacement art, but Power Stone 2, pretty much disc only. And also Sonic Adventure, but the limited edition disc only. That is pretty cool. I found that locally. an awesome score. But actually, we have a pretty nice array of games on the Dreamcast. That is another system I've had since a kid. I had a lot of my games since I was a kid, and I've just been buying them because I really enjoy that system. So I'm glad there's a lot of people that do. I can't wait to dive in a little bit more and play some of these great titles up there. I know there's some Skies of Arcadia, Wacky Racers, a couple other RPGs, and just really cool games. It's been a while. The gauntlets are always really fun. So yeah, look forward to that. That Dreamcast is going to be a good. But we'll pop on over here, and you can see some more. We got some more Sega here. We got our loose Sega Genesis carts, and I store those in a Napa. It's a Napa Valley tape case. They're like custom built here in California, and they're really kind of cool. Kind of a collector's piece itself. It's supposed to hold, like cassettes, but it perfectly holds the Genesis games. So I've got 100 games plopped in there. A couple good loose ones too. Like I said, love Genesis. Got the Sunset Riders, all sorts of Joe and Max, Rastands. I don't know. I mean, there's most of the notable games are over here, but there's just a ton of good stuff, and I think that gives me around 250, somewhere around 200 so Sega Genesis games to choose and play from, which isn't too bad. It's probably about 30% of the library. I'm okay with that. A couple of cool pieces up here. We've got the boxed Master System that I got recently from the local record store, of all things. Really great condition, except for that writing on the front, but can't blame them. Sega CD I got a couple of years ago. That piece is awesome. I love having that box back. I've had my original Sega CD forever, but we threw away the box, so I had to get a new box. But that's pretty cool. The Sega Dreamcast keyboard. I have actually a lot of cool accessories, and I always like to get them. I wish I had more of them on display. But it's a typing. There's Typing of the Dead and other keyboard browsers and stuff. You can actually use this keyboard for the Dreamcast, which is actually pretty cool. I always did enjoy that. My Sonic cereal there. Of course, a Sega Sports Bat. I actually don't know where this came from exactly. So if somebody out there knows, give me some better information on it. It's tough to find anything. But let's get into some of the bread and butter, I say, because this is probably, I always say this is my favorite unpopular system. I have collected, loved Sega CD forever. I still do. Still buying tons of stuff for it. You can see I've got a pretty decent little collection here. Got some very notable titles. Got Popful Mail, Lunar, and a couple other Working Designs games. A couple great games. Revengers of Vengeance, Demolition Man. There's just such good games I love playing. I actually have a couple more cool ones coming, so look forward to me definitely playing and getting a little bit more into that. But yeah, about half of these I've had since I was a kid. About half of them I've piled on since, and I don't seem to be stopping anytime soon. So look, it'll keep growing. Down here is actually a really cool section. It's got some of the big titles and some overflow games. But I love it. I got my little 32X. I got about 3 of these, but this one, John Hancock, I had him sign it at my first PRGE, which I thought was a lot of fun. So he used to work at a store. He's actually from where we are here in our hometown. And he worked at a secondhand store that I bought this from, so I thought it was kind of cool that I had brought it all the way back. Maybe it was there when he worked there, so... Couple of, the Inbox Game Genie actually has been with me for a long time. I don't even know where I've got it, if I've ever even opened it, but I think I got it for $10 somewhere, and it's just been hanging out with me. But down here you can see we got some cool, you got the Sega Saturn. A Sega Saturn, which is, I didn't have a Sega Saturn as a kid, Mr. C did. He had some awesome games that I remember playing. I think we've gotten most of those back. But I started playing more as an adult, and I found some really cool games, some RPGs that I had missed, some Working Design stuff that is just awesome, and another handful of games, some good gun games and light gun games. You know how we enjoy that. So the Sega Saturn is definitely a new monster, but I see that getting a lot bigger, except for the games are kind of outrageously expensive. I think my best one for that would be Albert Odyssey, which... when you start paying hundreds of dollars for games, it's it makes it hard to collect for them. I mean, look at how much trouble this is. I have a hard time getting it all in the shot. I gotta explain it all. You gotta pay for it all. Man, collecting. But another cool thing, if you saw my first Easy's room, we won't get into too bad. Go ahead and watch that. It has my Sega Game Gear collection. I've actually added a few cool games since then, which is a bummer. But I got about 50 games. I got the whole setup, all the accessories. Pretty cool little deal there. I never really played a lot of handhelds as a kid, but that one, it seems fun. I do enjoy playing it, but they're so clunky and tough to play with. But it's not too bad. And then down there, finishing it off, you can see some of my Inbox 32X games. Got a couple Inbox Game Gear games. Just some over kind of the miscellaneous loose stuff, all that jazz. Some of my fighter sticks for the Genesis. I love those things, man. I got one in a Goodwill and one like in town, but both real cheap, good prices. If you don't have one, get one. But yeah, that about wraps it up here for the Sega section. So let's move on over to disc games and see what I got going on there. Alright guys, here we are. Next stop is what I call the disc game section. We've moved just a few feet over. And you can see here, it's actually a pretty tough shot. I'll have to definitely get some close-ups and show that in here. But the idea, this is pretty much a little dark corner. It's hard to film, hard to get good lighting. But it holds all of my PlayStation, all of my PlayStation 2, all of my Xbox, and all of my Xbox 360 is crammed in here. Something around just over 100. Some of them are closer to like that 150 mark. My PS2 has really been growing lately, but roughly a good solid 120 games for all four systems, and some really good stuff. Originally I got the PlayStation for like 8th grade graduation. I got some awesome games with it, with like Resident Evil. Got Kingsfield. Bottom of the ninth. We love sports games and stuff. Love those big box games. But I never thought I would have a whole massive collection. Not that this is super massive. I know some people have actually near close and a ton of disc games. Mr. C actually has a whole mess of games from this era. And I always thought I would be more on top of, which I have a ton of the old carts and stuff, and I was more into that. And I was like, I'll never have huge shelves full of these games, but they just kept coming, kept finding them. I found a lot of games I'd never heard of, never got to play, games I did used to play and remembered, and one way or another, it all built into this. When it came to Xbox, actually, I was turned on to Xbox a little bit later, started playing like Halo 2. I had a bunch of friends get me into it and start playing, along there. And then a buddy of mine ended up gifting me like 60 games, 50 games or something like that. So that was a big, huge boost to my Xbox collection. So big thanks to Nick. He also gave me another cool piece we'll see here in a minute. But yeah, let's get into a little bit. I have some cool accessories too, some notepads, some light guns. I think I have a steering wheel and a flight stick for the PlayStation. But nothing overly impressive. It's all bulky stuff. It's hard to display. A couple of really cool games though for the PlayStation. Some of the Alundras, Silent Hill just got into the mix recently. Of course, all the Resident Evils, all that good stuff. Some old Final Fantasies, all that old good black box PlayStation stuff. I have a lot of that. A nice little collection of the big box games. I do enjoy getting those. I hope I can get some more. Definitely a couple oldies I had. One notable one is D, which is really cool. I think I remember playing it, but it'd be fun to play that one again. PlayStation 2, I just have a lot of, I got a lot of great RPGs, got a lot of great mid-range games. I have some awesome games here with the gun, Growl Lancer and stuff from the Working Designs, which is pretty cool. But basically, it's everything you could think of staple-wise. It's like, Resident Evil, a lot of the Resident Evils, Grand Theft Autos, all the commons, Final Fantasies that people like to play. I got them, but nothing, nothing too exciting. None of those rare horror games or anything. We'll have to get this guy out of the way. This is a Darth Vader that my brother had got me, which is pretty cool. We keep him around for some stuff. Show some close-ups, so we'll go ahead and set him out of the way for now. I can see we got, where was it? The inbox. All my systems here are either in the boxes or these are the boxes for the system. So They're either out on the shelf or they are in here. So you can see here a lot of the box systems, some cool stuff. I love this Fable box. Love all this Cuphead stuff. I know that's for like Xbox, the newer stuff, but me and my stepson play that. We just love that. Big fans of that game. But some really great games down here, like Godzilla's and Punisher, or no, maybe that's for PlayStation. But anyways, Punishers and the Predator, all that stuff. There's some good fun games. Of course, all of the Halos, all of that stuff. I think I have all the Grand Theft Autos again. Where you at, Dizzy? You got to come over and play like my 9 Grand Theft Autos. I think I have all the original ones too for PlayStation. There you go. But yeah, so that's pretty much nothing too exciting. I mean, it is and isn't. It's just not one of my most passionate sections, but it looks pretty awesome, right? I did a good job with it, and I keep getting games that I want, but even these games are getting more and more expensive to find anything good. So, but let's go over to this. This is like the first of a couple miscellaneous shelves, and this is an awesome one. I've had this since the very beginning. I'm pretty sure this one was in my last room tour as well, and I've always just kept the coolest stuff. I guess I don't know, stuff I like. You see all this awesome box, the Lundra, Lunar stuff, Arc the Lad, a lot of cool PlayStation. Steel box. I think I've had that set up since we started this stuff. But yeah, some inbox systems, a lot of cool PlayStation stuff there. I actually made a spot for my PlayStation 3 finally. My dad actually had given me several. He had donated a lot of PlayStation games, a lot of the Sega games, and all of his PlayStation 3 games in his PlayStation. So man, that guy's really been hooking me up. But not too big of a collection for that. Do have a PSP that's in great shape with a handful of games, so that is actually pretty cool. I do enjoy that system. We actually use it when they shut our power off or we go out of town and things like that. But we got the Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360. That's pretty cool, and a couple of Halo 3, awesome editions. I think if you can see up here, you can maybe see in the background, but you get all the like mini arcades and stuff. They're fun. We don't even really get them out of the box. I think I got some of them out for an event we had or something, but pretty much they stay up there and look pretty. But behind that is actually an in-box Intellivision set that I only have a handful of games, maybe like 10 games for, so I don't really get it out all that much yet. But I look to get that out in the future. Actually, there's a cool Guitar Hero in-box guitar all the way back there. I didn't even see that. So it's like I said, it's still a little junky, still a little layered. I wish I had a bigger spot. Maybe I will someday. But let's get down here. We got the TurboGrafx 16 box system I got at my first PRG as well. And then all the games I've accumulated, which is a pretty good stack for the TG16. Definitely one of my favorite up-and-coming systems. I look forward to just keep piling on and starting to play that. A couple of these old Tiger handhelds and just fun swag, in-box Atari games. Who remembers all these? These were fun. I have a ton of these unopened Nintendo Game Pack things and one Buck Rogers. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll have a little card opening party. And then one last piece that I do like to talk about is this little, you see this little TV in here. This is a little like wood grain black and white TV. Man, that thing is so awesome. That's my first TV. It came from when we moved up here. We actually, I was born as we moved from Sacramento up north here. And we stayed in like a fifth wheel outside of my grandparents' house, and this is the one thing we had. And they carried it around, and then obviously I don't remember it then, but going back later and going on camping trips and stuff, it was the same old TV. They ended up putting it in storage, and I got it. It still works. I've played Nintendo on this, black and white. It's pretty awesome, so I love having that. It just reminds me, I guess. And then down here is actually pretty cool. It's a bunch of like magazines, reading. Maybe I have another thing I actually took out of here for the video. It's kind of just like a stand that holds magazines, and it's jammed full. I need to actually get a video. It's probably got a couple hundred, Nintendo powers, strategies, comics, all of that good stuff. So I'll show that. If we can get a little shot down here, or you can see, this is kind of I call it like an overflow, but it has some of my bigger, bulkier toys that just really can't go anywhere. You can see this awesome Darkwing Duck. That thing is huge. Some Assassin's Creed books. Just some of the other toys. There are actually action figures in that Star Trek thing. Some Legos and stuff like that. But it's just kind of, like I said, out of room. So I make that look as good as it can, but it can only do so much. But yeah, that covers here. So let's truck right along. You can kind of see where we're headed next. We'll get a better shot though, and then move to the next corner here, guys. All right, guys, moving right along. Coming on to what I used to call another miscellaneous shelf, but it's basically has become an Atari and computer shelf, pretty much. You can see we also added some of those other kind of old school computer systems because I've been getting a lot of those in box randomly. A couple years ago, I was able to get the Odyssey 2, which was pretty cool. I didn't really have anything for it, but recently I found the Odyssey Voice and was able to pick up about 13 or 14 games, plus a couple of the board game style things. So, pretty excited to actually play that. It's really basic and old, but it's pretty fun and entertaining as well. So, that's an exciting piece. But you can also see other stuff like that. The Commodore 128 with it's a 64 adapter. It has all this tons of stuff, all these accessories. It was a big gift from OBS. Had a bunch of hardware and stuff, so that's actually fun. I look forward to that. You can see all my old big box computer stuff, which is pretty cool. A lot of that's from me and Mr. C's, childhood, or I guess teenhood. I don't know, whatever it was, but high school playing some of those awesome games, and just out of high school, a lot of that. Another one of my favorite fellas here, if you guys remember Boglins. These super cool little puppets with their eyes, they move and glow in the dark, and move their mouth and stuff. It is actually they've become pretty rare and hard to find. This was actually one of the first presents OBS got me. It was the first year we were together. She got this for my birthday again. And man, I love it. It was so cool to get one in the box and the whole deal. I used to have a really cool pumpkin one that I think I tried to wash it and it destroyed it pretty much. So those are like a lot of money now, whatever. We keep rolling down. And this is what I kind of mean. So this whole section half here is pretty much Atari. We've got the Atari 2600 in box with a pretty good slew of games. If you guys happen to catch Easy's Room second episode, I think that was the Atari 2600. We covered, a lot of the stuff I had. I've actually added a lot of games since then, a couple cool inbox. E.T., Donkey Kong, and some stuff I didn't have at the time, but so that was really cool, but definitely a nice little section. Got a whole lot of games. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, go check out that other video if you want to really dive in and see what I have and some gameplay and all that stuff. One of the cool things too is I think I showed this in that video, but the Atari game at the first PRGE we went to. It's the John Hancock Game Panic that he signed. That's always fun to play for Atari. A couple of Jaguar games, even though I don't have a Jaguar. I found those in the wild for very cheap, and I was like, well, maybe I'll get a Jaguar someday. It's one of the systems that we don't have in here. So you jump down, you have the Atari 7800, which is pretty new. Got that from Temple Music, and it is awesome because it plays the 2600 games. I don't have to get that beast out of the box anymore. So I can play everything on there. I got a nice little stack of games. A couple cool board games back there. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Power game, Talking Battleship. But most of my board games are in another section. There's another section of the house that's pretty awesome that we won't probably get to show in this video, but it'll leave you wanting more. It's movies, board games, and kind of stuff like that. Records. But you can see the Simpsons here. Another cool little area. We are big Simpsons fans. We had to give them a little tribute shelf, with just a bunch of different memorabilia throughout the years. An old Duff Beer energy drink. I've had that for so long. It's pretty funny. A couple of these Guitar Hero guitars. This one's actually pretty cool. I think this is an original PlayStation one, which was randomly, even though it looks awful, I think they're worth a couple of bucks. And this thing is cool. This has two awesome guitars, like all of the games that you could ask for the 360, I believe. And that's a lot of fun. I do enjoy some Guitar Hero. So one big item I did bring up, a friend who donated a bunch of Xbox games to me earlier, and the other thing that he donated was the Steel Battalion controller game. The whole deal. It has all the paperwork and stuff for it. It had pretty much everything but the box. He said he thought he might have had it, but it was a bummer not to have it. But it's such an awesome piece. And I forgot to mention that, when I was talking about notable things I have for Xbox, this is probably one of the things that takes the cake. I kind of forget about it because I only get it out a couple times a year, but a whole lot of fun, and really glad to have that and kind of, keep it amongst friends, I guess, and all that good stuff. Before we get out of this section, too, you can see it here. We got the family Gravatar machine, which I've brought up in several videos, but man, we've had this since 1984. My dad got it. My brothers played it a bunch. Blew the tube on it, so I have a guy that's coming to repair it. Great guy, SKL Arcades. It's fun working with him, but man, I cannot wait to get this baby back. Other than that, it works great, so you will see this in action someday, and I will make a video, so don't you worry. On top of that is a lot of the plushies right before we get into the toy section. Some cool plushies, original Alf. I think there's some Gremlin stuff. My Pound Puppies. A cool Nickelodeon phone. That thing is pretty awesome. It still works. It works great too. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, so let's now dive into a great section. Actually, we're just huge wrestling fans and all that stuff, and a couple more games. So let's turn the corner and check out what's next. All right, guys. Glad we could be getting to this part. This is kind of a wild section. This used to be a lot of replacement, a lot of building. This was like a window. We had a whole different setup here. This used to be a usable door. We kind of made that off limits. And then basically, we always had a lot of wrestling stuff. If you have watched me and Mr. C, Brothers Sports Gaming, all this, we love wrestling. We love Ultimate Warrior, baby. We love, the wrestling, old and new. We love the games, toys, obviously. If you've seen some of our new portrayed in plastic and all that stuff, that has been awesome. Recreating, stuff with that. You got to go check that out if you're a wrestling fan. But you can see all the awesome vintage wrestling tapes, DVDs, VHS, a lot of cool toys, a lot of cool stuff down here that we can't quite see. It's tough to get everything in these shots. This is a tough angle for me. You can see some of the other unopened elites. We have actually a whole crazy thing of them down here. I'll put a shot in. More elites, guys. These cool cars, pops. I don't know if I mentioned yet, I don't collect a lot of pops, but I'd like to get them when they, pertain to stuff that I like. As you see, I have a couple of different wrestling ones. I had a Simpsons one. There's some stuff up there on my toys. I'll address that in a minute, but get up here, you can see some of the Stone Cold videos and some of the Stone Cold swag. I'm actually going to be doing a fun video going over all of my wrestling media and stuff. So if you enjoy a deeper look, it'll be kind of like a Easy's room into wrestling footage, I guess. But yeah, some old Retro Fest. Some of these are old original magazines from when I was a child. Wrestling magazine, promos and stuff. Some of the old original toys. But man, just some nostalgic wrestling stuff. You got Hogan back there. The Warrior right here. What more could you want as a wrestling fan besides everything, right? But yeah, just above that is my small Wii section. And, I say that too because the Wii has such a huge library and the games aren't overly expensive. So, it seems like if you really wanted to be a Wii collector, you would be able to, go get Wii games fairly easily. But I do have a decent little mix. Some of the classics and the games that, everybody likes to play. But, nothing over the top. I've seen some fun stuff out there. I've been actually more interested. What is it? There's like some weird doctor game where you're a surgeon. And there's some kind of odd games that I'd really like to play that I think I kind of missed because I didn't play much Wii. But, and above that,
a little bit better is the GameCube, which I did play a lot of GameCube, a lot of Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and stuff, but I didn't own a GameCube so until later on. So collecting for it was a whole different story, and now the games are starting to become pricey, some of the good ones. But I actually do enjoy the library I've built for the GameCube. Got the cool Mario Sunshine. I got those. I've got like the Zelda, Metroid. Some cool wrestling games, which I was actually pretty excited about. But most of the games on here, Ultimate Muscle and just some random stuff like that. I think I had maybe have a Godzilla game or something. All playable games. That's what I kind of like. And then this was really cool. Recently, I had found the Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventures pack sealed, nonetheless, but with a adapter to hook all the Game Boys up and have like a good time. So that was kind of cool to get that. And another thing is I have another really cool accessory. It's actually hooked up because I use it all the time, but that's the Game Boy player and disc, which is you can play any Game Boy Advance Color, any of that stuff right on your GameCube. So that makes that such an awesome feature, and it does make the GameCube one of my most usable and favorite systems, even though I don't have a ton of games for it yet. Above that is such a I never know how to really address this, but this is my toy shelf that's in here. I have actually another toy section in the house, but so yeah, this is just like this nostalgic toy shelf. It has a lot of gaming related stuff, but it has a lot of stuff from my personal childhood, and then things that I found more recently, even some stuff for OBS, ponies, and there's some Rainbow Bright stuff and all that stuff, and it's tough to really get into, but I know it's a couple personal favorites like Guts, BattleBots, Muscle, of course Turtles, Joes, all that stuff. The old sports figures. I'm gonna have to do a separate toy video, and it'll probably be lengthy because there's a lot of stuff piled in there to go over. But I'd like to address it more, but I don't want to sit here and I could talk about toys for way too long. But let's move on. We've got our final wall. If the Ultimate Warrior will let us pass, we got the final wall. And it is the one that we have been waiting for. We'll have to do it in a couple different shots, but man, I cannot wait to show you. This is basically the wall that nobody ever gets to see because it's so hard to film this way. So let's see what we can do, guys, and check it out.
All right, guys, here we are. Thanks for sticking it out, with us. It was tricky. It was tricky to put all this together. I hope it worked out good. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. But this is kind of the grand finale here. Not we got a good little chunk left, but it's pretty awesome. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, I think you're gonna like this. And we're gonna have to do it in a couple different pieces because it's just not working out to get the shots that we want. But as you can see, this starts the wall of Nintendo. This is everything Nintendo, and it fills up pretty much this whole entire wall. So you see the masterpiece back here, the awesomeness that is all the loose games. We got the unlicensed and some overflow games there, and this thing is just beautiful. It's like it's a great library here. Random. I mean, a lot of the classic. I mean, the good stuff is up there. Even though there's things like Donkey Kong Math. There's all sorts of stuff just lingering around. You've probably noticed that stuff is not in alphabetical order. I know it used to be, and randomly we're a place that has fires almost every year, and one year we had to kind of evacuate and pack up stuff, and so it just hasn't gotten back to alphabetical yet. So that'll be another thing. Maybe next room tour it'll all be organized again. But yeah, these shelves I think here hold something like 60 games or so a piece. So you got a good flow there. You got 50 or 60 on the side. Some really cool a couple games, DuckTales 2, Metal Storm, awesome games just spread out. Mighty Final Fights, I think, hanging out up there. All over. I wish we could actually have a little lower shot, but we will talk a little bit about the TV is actually from my parents. It was in their room for ever, so it's in just the beautiful shape, and it's such a great TV to play retro games on. I love this baby.
I didn't mention it much in the wrestling video. You saw that TV. That's their VHS TV, so that plays all our movies and stuff. While we game, we like to double fist it, I guess, in media, as it were. A thing I gotta talk about is this joust ball. When we started Brothers Forge Gaming, I mean, it wasn't necessarily for that, but Mr. C had gotten me this Joust Snow Globe, which is one of my favorite things of all time. And if you guys have watched me play Joust, I really enjoy that game. So, man, that's really cool. And then, of course, our business cards and stuff. The reason I also wanted to stand over here, you can kind of see, some of our light guns. You've seen, the Minicer and some things around, but, we got pretty much all the other light guns are all stacked up right there, ready to go. A couple extra controllers, some overflow toys. But yeah, I can't wait to actually bring you the real video for the NES. I'll get really into it. So it's kind of hard to really, know what to talk about. There's so many games. It's me and Mr. C's favorite system to collect for. We feel like they have just some of the most playable games. We love the library. We are only 29 games away from the complete set. So that's a pretty awesome goal. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we, more than likely we won't, but we're going to get pretty close. And that's just fun. To be able to play anything is kind of like having our own personal real life emulator. Yeah, so the Nintendo section is great. You can start to see, we'll get in and have to move some cool stuff here. The 3DS, that Pokemon edition I talked about. Just some cool swag. You see the start of some of the inbox games for the NES. We're going to set up a new shot and really dive into there. And a little bit of the N64 collection. But I think I got to get a better shot to show you that. So I was just ready to show off my Nintendo wall. I do need to show a close-up of the consoles. Maybe I'll just slide that in afterwards, so we don't have to just do a setup for that. I did have a cool way where they, this is pretty much all the different systems are down here. Everything Sega, everything Nintendo, and then the early PlayStation stuff. And it was all hooked up. You can play it all at any time with switches. So a lot of fun there. But let's jump over and finish this baby out.
All right, here we go, guys. We have made it. Can you believe it? This is nearing the end. This might even be the final setup. The final countdown. And it is a good one. This is like the gravy to the meal. So if you just saw all the, impressive NES loose stuff we were just talking about, you could kind of see the start to this madness. But yeah, this is the in-box NES section with just a good array. I've really been hitting those numbers. I'm over 150, I think, like 100, almost 170 inbox games, which is pretty awesome. I really want to hit that 200 mark. Maybe I'm closer than I thought, actually. Maybe I did already hit the 200 mark. Now that I think, I forgot I went on some sort of quest. Anyways, a whole bunch of Nintendo games. Maybe I should have counted how many I had of each thing, but I did not. So yeah, you can see some awesome stuff in there. This little section here has some of the kind of cooler stuff, as it were, like Swordmaster, Godzilla 2, Snow Brothers, just stuff that we really, really, thought was pretty cool, holds a pretty good value. Jackie Chan, and then stuff that was just meaningful to us, Tecmo Bowl, Gremlins 2, just good stuff. There's a whole slew of stuff in here. I love this, the Arkanoid joystick. I still need to get the box for you. If you've seen the Arkanoid, it's pretty cool. So you actually use the ball thing instead of the controller, which is pretty fun. It took me a long time. I just got that recently, actually. Well, we'll just lay that down. How about that? That's what I get for messing with stuff. If you actually ever have seen around the room, I move them around kind of, but there's these couple of figures that are left. I'll get some close-ups of them. We used to do a lot of Warhammer Fantasy, and then I was kind of the guy. I built a lot of the scenes, a lot of the sets. I painted and put all this stuff together, made custom models, and these are just two of my favorite paint jobs and kind of creatures that I still had around. So I just kind of leave them out as toys almost and move them around and just show them off. But we'll get some close-ups because I think they're pretty cool. So, and I put a lot of work into them, so why not?
You move up to the top here for us NES fans. We'll finish off this first. Another row of inbox games. The Power Glove we got going on up there. That's pretty awesome. The Power Pad. That's like a brand new Power Pad too. I've used it a couple times though to play some games. I can't wait to we'll bring some footage. That'll be fun. We got an inbox NES action set. We actually have two of them, but they're the different ones. I have the orange gun and the regular gun. Like, it makes a difference, but some other inbox controllers and stuff. It's pretty cool. I even have the sensors for the glove. So I can we'll have to test that out. The glove is a little wonky, I'll have to say. I don't know if that's just it or what, but so yeah, we kind of talked about that. So let's dive down here. You can really see the N64 section, which was new. This used to have its own little spot somewhere. I can't even remember. I'll have to look at the old video. But it's made a new home. I've got some really cool pieces recently with the Ice Blue. Got a couple cool games: Ogre Battle, Earthworm Jim 3D. Resident Evil 2. A couple cool things I was looking for. Everybody remembers from last time. I actually built this right when I started collecting. I think I had about 20 games, and I built that shelf to display them. That's always been such a cool piece. I don't know. I should have made more of them or got them on the market. But yeah, you can see we really love our wrestling and our classic stuff. I don't get to spend enough time with N64. I wish I did. I wish I spent a little bit more time. I should. Because there's so much great stuff, but it's kind of like that party system, and it seems like it's been so hard, especially with everything going on, to get people together to play as like groups. So I don't want to sit there and play Mario Kart or Mario Party or Mario Tennis by myself, or even like wrestling and stuff gets boring. But that's it. That is a pretty impressive. I've got the Zeldas, like I said, all the wrestling games, Bond, a couple of those other cool ones that we mentioned. They're all in there. This tour is more about just kind of showing like an overall of the room. I know I didn't, I'm doing the easies rooms to kind of dive into each console so you can really see the games, but I am going to do some close-ups at the end of this video and stuff. So if you see games or something or anything, I don't know, in a picture or video or something that I didn't address or you're interested in, then leave comments and I'll get back to you and talk to you about it. It's just so hard. I'm trying to make this video not forever long, so I can't talk about every single thing. And that pretty much, some fun stuff. This actually is pretty much, I don't even know if you can see it. I use these pictures and stuff. It's there actually is a stereo system behind there that used to be all the surround sound, which is still usable, but we just kind of hide it. Down here, though, is actually pretty cool because before we get to the last part there, this is all the Game Boy stuff. So I need kind of a light and stuff to get in there. It's kind of new. I've been working with this. I used to just keep them all in like a hoard, but I've been trying to show some Game Boy stuff off. I know there was this was a really cool thing that I got recently from Temple Music. And this thing was pretty awesome. I mean, having the Game Boy player, it makes this completely obsolete, but the looks of this is just pretty cool. So definitely like one of the cool pieces I have for Game Boy, along with like a nice array of games and a couple other systems and stuff. But like I said, I do most of my Game Boying on the GameCube on the big TV, so can't go wrong there. Love getting this lamp in there. Don't use it a lot yet, but that was a Christmas present. We'll just talk about that. But anyways, this was Inbox, N64, a few last things, some toys, some more monster trucks. I love all these like Ninja Turtles, Donkey Kong monster truck things. They're pretty cool. Some awesome artwork. I think I have some pictures I should show you. These are a couple of my autographs and just one of the cool things when we were in Portland that I just made afterwards and stuff. Paul Niemeyer, Johnny Cage, and then Sean Schemmel from Goku on Dragon Ball Z. So those were pretty cool. And then winding it out here, a lot of people's favorite system. I have to say that the SNES is really not. I mean, I enjoy a handful of games on there a lot. Uncharted Waters might be my favorite game.
Definitely one of my favorite games of like all time. And there's a couple other things I really like, but I'm not a huge fan, and somehow I still find myself, getting 150 of them. But so we have like a nice little stack, a lot of playable games. I'm missing some of those crucial staple ones, but I have a lot of the good JRPGs, a lot of the action games, a nice little set of inbox. I got the Super Scope with the adapter, so we can, if anybody wants to come over and play some light gun games or any of that fun stuff, you know where to find me. And like I said, another boxed NES there. I brought that up last time. I love actually having the SNES, the second edition model. I have all this random stuff. Just because it looks cool. I like it looks different than the original. You see the big, bulky one all the time. This is actually pretty cool, too. A Superboy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these. I was helping a guy out in a raffle, and it was the first raffle he did, and I ended up winning. I think I did a short video on it one time. But it's like a handheld Super Nintendo. You can actually like plug it into your TV, plug controllers into it, play it on the go. It's pretty sweet for a little like Hyperkin, emulator thing. But definitely cool. It just kind of sits around. So yeah, guys, I guess we did it. I can't believe it, right? We made it through the whole room. You guys stuck it out with me. And I can't believe how difficult this was, to be honest. So kudos to anybody else who does room tours and all of that stuff, because getting camera angles and fitting all this stuff in here and taking the time to having it look clean and crisp and showing it to everybody does take a lot of effort. So I'm glad I finally, after all these years, was able to bring this style tour to you and really give you an insight of Easy's room and my crazy mind, I guess, and all my chaos. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep checking out all of our other videos that we've been doing. I'm going to be doing more Easy's room, so you can really dive in, see everything up close. So let me know what systems you want to see next, by the way. Other than that, guys, dude, thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, take it easy, and we will see you next time on Brothers Forge Gaming.